And another thing. That's going to be the name of this new series that I am starting. I've been talking about it for the longest time, as many of you know. Throughout the course of the week, after I do my recordings, I always think of extra things that I wish I would have put in my video. As many of you know, the show airs 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Sunday nights. I watch it live with the SOS exclusive level members of my channel. Then we end up talking for like an extra 15, 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes after the show ends. I try to keep it to 15 minutes, but I'm verbose. And then after that, I start doing my recording because I don't want to hear what any content creators have to say about it before I do my live recording. And that's why I look so haphazard and like a hot mess, because I start at 11:30 at night and I usually end between 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning by the time I'm done covering the entire episode. Well, then as time permits, I slowly go through and do the editing and get it out. Well, in the process of doing that throughout the week, as I'm driving to places I have to go to or having a bite to eat, I will listen to other content creators and then I'll go, oh, I didn't think of it like that. That's a good idea. And I'll be like, oh, I wish I would have added that. Or there'll be a whole segment that I forgot to comment on that whole segment. It's too late. I'm not going back. I'm not going to be able to recreate and put myself together and look that bad again as I do at 1 o'clock in the morning. It is what it is, and I put it out the way it is. So that's the birth of And Another Thing. These are things that I thought of after I've created my video. In addition to that, it's a way to correct things that I've put in that video that are incorrect. Because there are times that I'll put things in there and I'll edit it, and then afterwards I'll realize, oh, I said that wrong. Sometimes I'll have the wrong name for somebody. Again, it's so late at night, I sometimes misspeak. I don't mean to, and I don't always catch it. So I'm hoping that this is my chance to set the record straight. This isn't a news channel. This really isn't a news channel. I'm not here for breaking news, but sometimes if there's something that comes up that I just really want to share, I'll do it here. So there you go. This is things I forgot, things I got wrong, things I want to add, things I never thought of. It's just And Another Thing. So I hope you like this little series. I'm not committing to any particular schedule. I would love to say every week on Saturday nights, look for it, or maybe twice a month. I don't know. I have about 10 things listed here in my notes app that I've been accumulating that says And Another Thing. I'm going to go through them right now and I'm going to talk about each one of them. I'll erase it. And then as it gets up to about 10 things again, I'll make another video. So there you go. Write down below what you think of this. If you want me to keep on doing it, if you think it's a good idea, if you think it's dumb, whatever, I don't care. Just give me your opinion. So now let's get started with the first thing that I have here in my notes app. And Another Thing. Here we go.
Number 1.
All right, so to backtrack, Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's when the show airs. Then on Tuesday nights, we sister friends all get together and we just talk about the whole episode. It's fantastic. Now, in the live on Tuesday night, you're going to have to forgive me. My life is so crazy. My brain is so fried. Was it this past episode? Because when I do 2 videos per episode, I start to think, how many episodes has it been? I think it was just this past episode. I think it was 2 videos ago, but just this past episode, where Aurora was sad and crying because she was visualizing Brianna up on stage singing in the worship team for this church that they were visiting. Okay, during the live, I was implying that Brianna may not have been the best singer. I did not have fond memories of her singing at Isabel's graduation party. I need to retract that. Now, I'm not saying she's a great singer. By the time I did my editing and got the edited part out, you can see that I said, oh, here's Brianna singing. But then that's all I really said, because everything that I had said in Sunday night to put in there, I edited it out. Because when I went and found the clip to put in, I'm like, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Christine singing? Bad. That's what must have stuck in my head. I remember Brianna singing, but I remember Christine's voice. You know how memories can get distorted? I put those 2 together. So I need to apologize. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong about something. In fact, I prefer. My conscience feels so much better. I don't like saying negative stuff, but like I really thought she was a bad singer. She's not. I don't know much. She didn't sing much at all. We heard very, very, very few notes. I mean, like maybe 10 notes. So it's hard to say how she sings, but she didn't sing bad. What we did here wasn't bad. Christine, what we did here was bad. Was not good. Moving on.
Number 2.
Gaslighting. This has to do with comments from people. In the video I've been talking about, well, both. In the live, we were talking about gaslighting, both on Sunday night and on Tuesday night. And in the video that I created, I did a whole thing on what is gaslighting. Gaslighting is telling somebody that you didn't do something, that something never happened, and then convincing them that they're losing their mind or that they're crazy and making them kind of question their sanity. Now, I made reference to the fact that some content creators were using it inappropriately. Let me just say, it wasn't anybody who I really love, okay? So I'm not calling out anybody who I normally watch. There you go. All right. So, I happened to come across content creator that had a lot of subscribers, but it was somebody who I'm not subscribed to. Anybody who I've ever mentioned, oh, I like them, or I watch them, or I subscribe to them, or I haven't seen them in a while. None of those people, okay? None of my people have I ever heard use it incorrectly. Many of them I've never even heard use it. So there, okay. What else? What else do we have here? Going down the list.
Number 3.
One of the viewers on my channel, Amy, pointed out that I'm often referring to Kody as a narcissist, but Robyn is as well, that he's an overt narcissist. She's a covert narcissist. 100%.
Allegedly.
Also, some people would refer to them overt and covert. Some people would call them grandiose and vulnerable. There's so many different terms for all of these. They manifest differently. A lot of the characteristics are the same, but his would be more grandstanding and hers would be more victimhood.
Sounds about right.
But yes, I don't call Robyn out enough for it. I think because Kody is that grandiose narcissist that he overshadows her covert narcissism. But yes, they really do both hit a lot of the criteria for the characteristics of narcissism. Something else that came to my mind as I was doing the editing of my film, I'm going over the life flight stuff again. And as I'm editing it and I'm coming up with the funny little clips of life flight, it was just dawning on me. If we go back, we have scenes of Mykelti getting thrown off a horse and the medical treatment that they felt was necessary for her was to pick her up, put her in the back of a car, even though she was screaming and crying in pain, and take her to a chiropractor. Compare that to Robyn, goes off of her four-wheeler, and Kody says if she had any twinge of pain, we would have called a life flight. I'd forgotten all about Mykelti when I was doing that editing.
Number 5.
Also, I have to say, I do not believe life flight was involved when Dayton came off of his four-wheeler. And I do believe he was way more seriously injured than Robyn. Didn't you find that odd that Robyn chose to go onto a four-wheeler? Just bizarre. And was the scene staged or not? I don't know. Some people seem to think that it was a body double that went off of that. If it was, it's sick because of what happened to Dayton. That's partly what makes me think it wasn't. That would be disgusting after what her son went through and suffered through, that she would say, yeah, let's do a scene where my body goes off of it. But I get up and walk up and get back on and drive away. I don't know. I don't put it past them. Don't put it past them. Just saying, it would be sick.
So, number 6?
Since we're talking about those four-wheelers, let's go on to say Robyn talks in this episode about how she loves motorized vehicles. This is the first time we've ever heard her talking about loving motorized vehicles. I found that very odd. How come we've never seen her on one before? We see Kody driving them all the time. She's in her car, driving her van. Even down the road, you can see Coyote pass from their house. But she'll get in the van. She won't get on a four-wheeler. But all of a sudden, this episode, she loves motorized vehicles. Really?
I like the speed. I like just kind of taking jumps. I like, going over some crazy terrain.
Well, let me think. Has she ever talked about motorized vehicles in the past? All right.
Motorized vehicles are not my favorite thing. I'm not excited.
Did she think we forgot? Did TLC think we forgot? Or is Puddle Monkey trolling her? Maybe she forgot what she said about it, but they didn't. Oh, the lies, the lies, the lies. They just never stop.
What number? 7.
Speaking of lies, at the beginning of this episode, we have Kody saying, we're going on these four-wheelers because we go to this beautiful romantic spot all the time, perpetually. Okay, I don't know if he said perpetually. It's my favorite word to repeat of his now. We have game nights perpetually. We have fun in this house perpetually, constantly. So he and Robyn do these drives to some special lookout place to watch the sunset all the time.
Around the pond and the four-wheelers, then when it gets to be dark, we'll go up and watch the sunset.
Yet, they go up there, they have their conversation, and what does he say at the end of it?
Let's get home before it's dark, okay?
All right.
Oh, we better get home. It's getting dark. Gotta get home before it gets dark. Wait, how do they watch the sunset there and get home before it's dark? Impossible.
Lucky number 8.
In this episode, I was doing a lot of questioning of Meri and the reason why she stayed with Kody for so long after he had the nerve to say to her, you've been mean to me for 20 years, so I've decided I'm going to be the same to you for 20 years. So you know what it feels like, and then we'll move on from there. Penance, basically. Why would you stay with anyone who did that to you? I don't get it. Now again, I wasn't raised in a cult. I've never been brainwashed, so I'm not as empathetic or sympathetic to her. I understand that. I'm trying to be. It's hard. But somebody pointed out at one point during, I think it was during our live, was it a comment? I think it was during the live, that Meri's mom, I'd forgotten about this. Meri's mom loved Kody. She was very supportive of Kody, and there was an episode a bit ago, and I don't remember which episode it was in, but there was a time when Meri talked about how supportive her mom was of Kody, how much her mom loved Kody, and whenever they would have a conflict between Meri and Kody, and Meri would go to her mom to complain, to vent, to get advice, to just, she was close with her mom. That was her friend. Her mom would always encourage her to turn around and go back and make it right with Kody. So I'd forgotten about that. I am sure that Meri went to her mother multiple times and said, this is what this man said to me. And Meri's mom said, it'll be okay. Keep going back. You'll work it out. And so Meri abided by her mom, which is sad, but I bet she did. She was trying to abide by her faith and her mother and her husband and support her sister wives at the same time and not leave all the children. I mean, that's why she stayed. I get it. But she's in a different situation now. The other sister wives all left. She's starting to see Robyn for who she is. Kody told her to go. The kids have all grown and taken off. And her mom, sadly, has passed. In addition to that, Meri has acquired a lot of friends, not in this faith, outside of the faith, who are there to support her as she leaves. So she's in the perfect spot right now to go. All right, next point.
Number nine.
Oh. I wrote, Behest. Look at him struggle to recall his word of the day. As I was doing the editing, and I didn't go back and put this in there. I guess I wanted to talk about it, but I don't know. I mean, it ended up being 2 videos long just because I thought, I'm already over an hour. I could have done it. Could have been an hour and a half long video. I didn't realize I only had about another 25 minutes to go. But at any rate, I had a feeling the sex before marriage part was going to be a significant portion. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take, so I ended up making it 2 videos. All right. So when I got to the Behest point, I just thought, I'm not going to make it longer than it needs to be. But I remember, so dumb. Has anybody ever heard anyone use the word behest in everyday conversation. I'm married to an English teacher. Never heard him say it. At any rate, I'm going to put the clip in here again, showing him saying it, because I am convinced he heard the word watching Game of Thrones that weekend, or maybe some other period piece. Possibly it was on a word of the day calendar, and he just thought, "Oh, that is a great word. I'm going to work that word into my next conversation when I'm on camera." And now he's having this conversation with Robyn, and he's starting to talk, and he's realizing, oh, I don't know, what is that word? I can use that word here. He starts to talk.
Okay, but I'm not at your...
And he knows about kind of what the word means and where it needs to go, but he couldn't quite recall what the word was. So this is my interpretation. It's my interpretation. So it appears that at the moment that he's getting ready to say the word, he pauses to recall it just for a second.
I'm not at your behest.
What was the word? What was the word? What was the word? What was the word? Behest. I have probably now heard the word from all the editing and rewatching of the clip in that. I've probably heard the word and said the word behest 20 to 30 times. I guarantee you I will never use the word again in my life. And yet, how this man managed to work it into this conversation, I'll never know. Moving on. What's the next thing I've written here?
Who's got number 10?
Oh, this was from a previous video. This is when I first started taking notes for, and another thing. This is Melanie from Notes to Self. I had said in another video that Melanie had mentioned that she had heard of women in the faith whose husbands had divorced wives to marry a younger wife.
She didn't.
So that like their kids could be on insurance, or so that they could adopt for whatever reason the younger children.
She didn't.
I really thought she said that.
She didn't.
But I was wrong, because in a subsequent, I don't know how many videos since then, because that was one in the past. But definitely in a more recent one, since this episode came out and people were asking her about it, she said, yeah, no, that's not common. I don't know people who did that. And I was like,
well, shit.
I thought you said you did. So I have to apologize. Again, I have to recant. I don't want to put erroneous information out there. I've always said this is not a news channel.
Clearly.
This is me reacting to the video. I get in trouble when I go off the cuff. I don't want to give incorrect information. That was incorrect information. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. I know what's wrong with my brain. It's over 50. It doesn't work the same. My apologies. Certainly not intentional. I thought you said it. I was wrong. All right. What else do I have in here that I need to correct or add?
That's it. Last one.
Well, that's a bummer to leave it on that one. That was the last one I had written on there.
On a positive note?
Okay, I'll leave it on a positive note. I'm going to start a new series with my son, Zach, back by popular demand. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I've been getting so many requests. Where's Zach? Where's your son? Are you going to do something with your son again? So God bless him. I did a stream with him. He's back at college, but I did a stream with him for 2 hours this evening, just going over episode 1. So much of it was me just talking to him that I was going to be editing out, just having a conversation or us trying to figure out streaming thing and all that. As it turns out, I actually didn't record it. So we have to do it again. We might do it tomorrow night. We'll see. He's got a lot to do. He's got a bunch of friends coming over to his apartment tomorrow. We'll see if we can get it in, and I'll get it out to you. But at any rate, so I've got this new little series and another thing that you'll be seeing every now and then. And then we'll also have Zach. I don't know what to call it. Zach is back. I don't know. Back by popular demand. I keep saying back by popular demand. Zach is back by popular demand. Teaching Zach. I don't know what to call it. Put it down below. I'll see which one strikes my fancy, or I'll run them by him and let him pick one out. Tell me down below what you think I should call the series for this season, where I will have a short clip going over each episode, telling him what happens, and then he just reacts to it. And he asks me some questions about it. He volunteers some information. It's really good.
That's spoken like a true mom.
There's a few things to look forward to. Thank you for being faithful viewers of my channel. I appreciate you. I really, truly do. Take care. Have a great day. See you next time. God bless. Bye-bye.